Okay, so what we got to do is remove water pump relay number 2. Okay, so that's this guy right here, and then close the circuit with the male spade jumpers to manually operate the water pump. Okay, so that is this one right here. So this is number 1. Okay, that's number 1. This is number 2. This is the one we need to remove. So go ahead and pull that guy out. Kind of remember which way it went. There's no way you can install it. Okay. Okay, so these two, I believe, is what we have to jump right there. Okay, we got to jump this one to like this one right over here. Not a lot of room to work with. Okay, we got to jump the 2 kind of vertical ones. Got it? Alright. Okay, it's going to be really hard to see what I'm doing here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to install these kind of spade connector dealies so I can move it outward, okay? Okay, there's one. Ideally, it's probably better to have ones that are like the same thing. Okay, I think that's good. You know, I might not even need a. I was gonna get some alligator clips, some a jumper cable, but all I could probably do is just squeeze that. Let me wear some gloves. Okay, so it says to close with male spade jumpers, manually operate the water pump. Okay, so once the pump has been cycled on and off a few times, I don't know what a few times means, man. Can give me like 10 seconds? Let's 10 seconds. How about that? Top off the radiator with approved coolant. Okay. So that, I guess this is how you bleed it. So I've connected what is this, a alligator clip jumper to one of the kind of metal things that was metal spade thingy, and then I'm just gonna connect them together, and it should cycle the water pump. Okay, here we go. Okay, anything. So it's not working. I think the bike has to be on for this to work. Because you need power, and it's not giving me any power. Okay, so I think you got to turn the bike on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the bike on. So the reason that you would need to do this is because if you do turn the bike on, the water pump won't turn on. It turns on when it gets to a certain temperature. So we're going to just manually work it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. See, I don't know if it's going to work with it's on the on position, but the bike isn't on. Oh, there we go. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000. Boop. There we go. Okay. Alright, so the bike does have to be on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Let's do it 2 more times because it says a few times. I'm guessing a few times might be 10. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see what's going on. The bike is on, as you can see. Okay, it's on, but it's not on. I didn't hit the start button. So all you have to do is get it in the on position. Okay. So here we go. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000. Okay. And we'll do it one more time. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000. Okay. Alright, and that should be it. Shut the bike off. There's no power going to that anyway, so I don't have to worry about shorting anything out. Okay, so it doesn't say to open the vent cap anymore. It says to just add coolant. So I'm guessing, so we're just going to add coolant until I guess it spills out of the cap or something. Okay, yeah. Okay, it just says to top off the radiator. That's all. So we'll just keep on filling this until it gets to the top of the cap. Okay, that's I think it's full. I think it might be too full. Let me tilt it a little bit to drain it. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the coolant system is full. I wish there was a way that you could just really check. You know, I think just messing around, just taking the vent cap off and seeing if there's fluid in there is good enough, I guess. But that's the way to double check. Okay, so I'm gonna put the cap back on. Okay, so that should be it. Okay, so that should be it. We're pretty much done, so we're just gonna go button everything up. But I did it exactly how the book told me to do it. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and put this vent cap back here, where we found it. Back up here. Man, working with the coolant, hopefully you don't have any problems with your coolant system, man. Because it's a pain in the ass to get to it. Okay, so what we're going to do is put these bolts back that hold the expansion cap, the radiator cap on. Snug it really well. Okay, that should be good. So now let's put the relay back in. Actually, let's run it real quick just to make sure it's running properly. Okay. Okay, that sounds fine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, take out my two little jumper buddies here. Okay, all out. Okay, now we're going to put our relay back in, just like that. Okay, we're going to put our fuse box cap back in. Wikis, dude. Okay. Okay. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and put the top cover back on. Okay, so start putting back everything where you found it, and then probably by the time you're done putting everything back, you're gonna want to clean up all the mess that you've made. So like, there's some coolant that spilled out there, some water. So like I said, I just topped off the coolant. Yeah, I just topped off the coolant. All I did. And that's how you do it apparently on this bike. So you shouldn't really, for the most part, I don't think you would have any problems with the coolant system, you know. There's no really easy way to check it except the way we just did it right now. So, except for maybe you can take that vent bolt out and see if there's coolant in there. If there's no coolant, then you probably want to add some. Or if the water pump sounds kind of funny. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting the bike back together. So when I took the bolts out, I put them back in the order I found them. So these are the two in the front, these are the two in the middle, and these are the two in the back, okay? The smallest ones are in the front too, also, by the way. It's probably a good time to clean or polish your body panels also, by the way. So before I put these body panels back on, I'm going to go clean them because like the bottom is filthy and you don't really get much chances to clean this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clean it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and install the front body panel. I kind of washed it a little bit, so cool. Okay, if I remember correctly, this one was kind of hard to get to. Okay, don't forget there's a like kind of cable here. There's a little cutout here for it to come out there. Okay, I'm going to put the lower body panel on. So remember that this is supposed to be between the cover and the thing here. Okay. Okay, so yeah, one thing I just wanted to point out, there's supposed to be a spacer here that goes between the front body panel and the underbody panel, okay? Yeah, that's got to be behind everything, okay? And it's kind of hard to get all this stuff up in here, so make sure there's no kind of cables caught anywhere. There's this one that goes through the front panel here you want to be careful with. And then there's like a high voltage wire here somewhere. There's like a high voltage wire behind here. You can't see it now, but there's one under here, and then there's the radiator hose too. So I think that should be good. So probably what you're going to want to do is fire the bike up and make sure it runs. Make sure there's no leaks or anything. You're going to want to also clean this. You're going to want to clean all that coolant that's spilled out of this. Okay, right here. Okay. All right, and then we'll go ahead and fire the bike up real quick. Just make sure it runs. You won't hear the water pump. Okay, seems fine. Yeah, you would have to wait for the motor to warm up before the water pump turned on. So, all right. So yeah, just I would go take it for a spin until to get the coolant system operating, because it's not going to work, you know. And then and just make sure it does turn on, and then and that would be it. So there you go. That's how to refill the coolant on the Empulse TT. It's probably very similar for the Bramo Empulse. I think the only difference is where the fuse box is located. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. Not gonna lie, to take off. You literally have to take all the body panels off the bike. So so that's just, you know, it's a pain in the ass. So, but yeah, that's how to refill it. I will probably shoot another video when I go drain and refill it. So. But that was just how to just to make sure it was full. So, but for the most part, you got to strip the body panels off, get to the radiator cap, basically pull the radiator cap out, because there's no way you're gonna fill that when it's in there, you know, unless you like pump the water or coolant in there. And then you got to take the vent bolt out, and then fill up the cap till some coolant comes out of there, and then put the cap back on, torque it. And then fill up the radiator again, and then put the cap back on, and then that's it. So That is exactly how the manual told me to do it, so that's how I did it. So I don't know. It probably would have been fine to just not not add coolant after we bleeded all the air out. So all right, so there you go. Hope you guys learned. Hope you learned something. If you're like an Empulse TT owner, that's how you refill the coolant. So when I get around to draining and refilling it, you're supposed to do it at like 18,000 miles. So like this coolant still has plenty of life left in it. So that's why I just topped it off with distilled water. So if you're topping it off, I think it's okay to top it off with distilled water, because that's what the coolant is. It's half of it is distilled water and half of it is coolant. So I don't really know what coolant to use, but this is what came out of it. Okay. It just looks like it looks like a regular green coolant to me. That's what it looks like. So, if anybody knows what coolant they use at the factory, it looks like just regular green coolant. Hades Omega prefers to use a Prestone. Okay. All right. Hope you learned something. Hades Omega out. Okay, so here's all the tools I wound up using. I use a 5mm Allen bolt stuff. Just that was for the vent cap and the seat, basically. That's the only thing we used it for. And I use a torque wrench to torque the vent cap, and then just various 5mm Allen wrenches. This is the set here, but I only really use 5. I use a driver, these 2 drivers, to take out all the body screws and stuff, and a T25 Torx. Okay. And then I use a flathead screwdriver to help me remove the fuse box panel cover. Okay, so those are all the tools that I wound up using. So not too hard, and I use the rear stand to. You probably want to work on a rear stand. It makes the bike a little higher, and it makes it level too. All right. Here's me up. Oh, don't forget, I had a funnel too. I used the funnel to put the water inside the radiator cap.